I'm Reggie Draper and welcome to Auto Rave TV. This is a somewhat special episode of Auto Rave TV, a first, I guess, of me just talking about random topics, and I want to do a few of these here and there. But today I am at a Lara garage. If you notice, there's all kind of crazy exotics behind me, Ferraris and Lamborghinis. One of my favorite 612 Scaglietti, just a swag type vehicle from Ferrari. Even a Callaway behind you, you can see it, the gray silver car over there. But anyway, a Lara garage, I mean, they store vehicles, they sell vehicles, they work on high-end exotics, they even have a race team, and they detail vehicles as well. So if you're in Houston and you need any of those services, check out our Lara garage, one of the best places I've been to, hands down. But again, we're here to talk a little bit, and today's quick talk is about the movement of the American market and importation, in particular from Japan and Germany. There's some big things moving. What people don't realize is that there's a storm brewing in the American importation scene. Let's just explain why. In 1997, we had this game called Gran Turismo. You may remember, PlayStation 1, 32-bit era, crazy graphics, the original racing simulator. You couldn't tell us nothing. Thought we had the best thing since sliced bread. But what this game really did was introduce the American market to cars that we really did not know existed. Many of us had no idea they were even there, let alone could see them or touch them. So you have cars like the Lancer Evolution, the Skyline GTR, the Impreza STI, the Lancia Delta Integrale, the E30 Sportivo, just all these crazy vehicles from Japan and Germany and other countries that we just cannot touch. It was the perfect gumbo for lust for my generation. You know, new graphics, new cars, room full of posters of dream cars, and this is what we grew up on. So what I'm getting to is that the US has this stupid importation law. Pretty much it says, unless it's at least 25 years old, it's not easy to import. Well, this year is 2016. 25 years ago, it's 1991. Now, you may remember, late 80s and early 90s was like the heyday for a lot of special JDM and German vehicles. I mean, in the late 80s, again, you had the E30 M3s, M5s, yep, some of the Porsches coming into play, some of the newer classic Porsches. Early 90s, a lot of the JDM vehicles. 91, you had the NSX, 92, the NSXR. I think it was 93 with the Lancer Evolution. I think 94 was the Impreza STI. I mean, all of these cars. Late 80s was a Skyline GTR, the R32. This era was the perfect time for just these badass vehicles. So what the market is doing now is that all these vehicles that are available over, especially in Japan, they're all doubling and tripling in pricing. The R32 GTRs have already doubled, I think, in the last year and a half or something like that, because people are just starting to grab them up. In Houston, Texas alone, I've seen about 4 or 5 R32 GTRs. I'm not even sure what's happening in Cali and Miami or whatever else. It's just going crazy. So what I'm getting at is that it's time for us to buy our dream cars, the imports. And unless we shit our lives away in the grunge era and amounted to nothing and whatever it may be, most of us can probably afford them. You know, they're still somewhat reasonable. You know, you can still get an R32 GTR, I think, for 20-some thousand or so, which is not bad. You know, the NSXs are kind of crazy. The NSXRs are over 100,000, but there are a lot of cars coming up in the late 80s and early 90s that we can grab up right now. And I think it's about to get really crazy with people importing vehicles into the States. You know, companies like JDM Classics and other companies like that have already kind of started it up. But point is, if you want to import a car, you have that dream to import something from that era, look now, because in a few years prices are going to be outrageous. Seriously, you know, you even have, I think, I can't remember when the first year the R34 came out, but there's like an 8-year range of just straight fire, just crazy vehicles that came out from Japan, especially, that we're all just waiting to grab up. People are actually starting to buy them early now just to store them and have them over here before prices get crazy. So it's the time to look. I just want to highlight that because I think a lot of people didn't or don't realize that that's happening. I'm actually looking for an NSXR right now. I have a line on one. If it can work out, I'm gonna bring it over, do a video on it and stuff like that. But they're getting hard. Anyway, that's basically what I want to talk about. I want to talk about it a long time, but take a look at that. Heck, I'll even buy a car for you. I'm gonna have to start a business for this right here. Hint, hint. But anyway, yes, that is my topic for today. And if you have a comment about it, feel free to let me know. Until next time, we'll talk about maybe buying an exotic car. I may talk about that now, actually. Signing off.